Level 7 of terrestrial mind is experienced as pure, glorious spirit, perfection, the heavenly Lord, the blessed earth, and the one body of mankind, where no other exists. On realization, level 7 is apperceived as paradise, a literal Garden of Eden identical in one single feeling/image, with all of man's most rapturous moments of love of nature combined. Moreover, this one originating beauteous being of the earth does not vary or diminish. It is realized to be constant, divinely eternal, perfect, in the unalterable substance of endless mind and spirit. Level 7 is the Buddhist nirvana and the Hindu place or state of reunion with Brahman, the highest. At this 7th level of the terrestrial mind, there are no competing individual desires or interests to create war, conflict, or pain. Only one being is present, one earth, one impossibly sweet nature, the essence of the being we call the planet Earth, the one and only man. This finally is what I am, as Earthman. At level 7, the Earthman consciousness ends, but although the end of a cosmic phase of mind, it is not the end of mind. Profounder levels exist as solar mind, perhaps requiring solar or cosmic man to realize them. Level 6, the world of will and impersonal love. Before a man can enter level 7, he has to have realized level 6, the level of self-realization. The will formed level 6 out of itself by embracing the pure earth idea of level 7. While level 7 consists of idea only, level 6 combines idea and will. Will introduces power into the mind, creating the first duality. This duality divides level 6 into two halves, one static, the other dynamic. This is what the Hindu tradition calls the Purusha, single ever-present, all-present, almighty self or person. Love is the creating element in terrestrial mind. This inspires the not infrequent insight that love is the creator, and that love is all. Level 5 of mind is the world of true soul. It is the spirit of will and idea. In levels 7 and 6, step down into pure mental energy, the second state of the terrestrial mind. Level 5 contains the true soul of every human being who has ever lived. Each soul is a unique facet of the original earth idea of man, and all combine here, without ever having been separated, to represent one extraordinary, indivisible soul or character. True soul is eternity. It is realized as individual consciousness, I, and at the same time as ultimate unity. Man realizing the soul at level 5, and many have, knows he is one with all, that all things are in him, and that he is in all things. Being perfect, man's true soul or the world of soul never alters. Neither does it participate in the levels and planes of existence below. Its role is static. It is the shining exemplar, the self-luminous image in which all forms of life and existence strive to perfect themselves in the trauma of evolution. Level 5 is the quintessence, which the Greeks intuited as the 5th element of creation. It is what the late Gnostics called the divine body of the Anthropos, the one man, suspended in eternity. Level 5 also contains all the eternal ideas which soul man uses or draws upon in his evolutionary progress. Here is Plato's archetypal idea of table, triangle, tree, as all ideas come to man or from man, out of this profound region of mind. Even the idea of soul and man himself. Level 5 may also be called the world of ideals. Level 4, the world of evolving soul. Level 4 of mind contains the evolutionary soul, or as it is called in this philosophy, the empiric soul of every human being living and dead. The empiric soul is not perfect. It is what the individual man is now. It represents in pure mental energy the image the man has managed to make of himself through endless earth experience, of striving towards the ideal of his true soul in level 5 above. Every man's experiential approximation of his true soul to date is here in level 4. Whether he is dead or alive makes no difference. Only in the denser levels below is the drama of life and death enacted. In level 4, the living dead and the dying living are the same, both evolving slowly as their empiric souls toward the supreme ideal. Here there is no death. This is the level where immortality is realized. Evolution. In level 4, the world of ideals becomes the world of progress toward the ideal. Here occurs the first movement in the mind as each empiric soul and idea adjust in shade and tone to the evolutionary changes occurring in the forms below. Here is preserved the real significance of changing fashions, styles, preferences, and tastes. All variations of the classical moving in time towards the ideal progress. The band of death. The death band between levels 4 and 3 separates immortal man from mortal man. All men are immortal, but few realize it. To die physically is not to realize immortality, and the death band does not pertain to physical death. Physical death occurs well below it. This death is psychological and or emotional, and is gone through while the body and person are fully alive and active. The psychological experience of death brings a vivid, new permanent state of inner clarity which may be described as the realization of space. Space becomes indescribably clear and pristine, enabling objects and facts to be seen in a finer and sharper, all-inclusive perspective. This realization, in fact, represents the cessation of naming in the individual, the end of that chronic, conscious, and subconscious habit of all men, which perpetuates the existence of the false, superficial, and intervening self. Emotional death, on the other hand, is filled with feeling. It is the realization of immortality, accompanied by the full joy of release from the mortal emotional self or burden, and the realization of the individual's oneness with all life and purpose, whatever that might be. Emotional death is by far the more painful and personally distressing, and is almost certain to include psychological death if that has not already occurred. Emotional death usually occurs in circumstances causing agonizing emotional disturbance. This is of an intensity that can be equated with the mystic's insane unrequited love of the divine, or with the loss of death of the most loved person in the individual's life, who may actually have been neglected or abandoned because of the search for the truth. There is likely to be some awareness of having caused wretched suffering to others, through the uncompromising stand of having put the search for truth before any other consideration. The blue plane, Vita, moon plasma, is an absolutely unselfconscious medium, although essentially alien to the other energies of terrestrial mind. It is perfect for their expression. It is never perceived as itself and has no quality behind supreme plasticity and receptivity to the higher mind influences of intelligence and spirit. Level 3 was formed by a focus of attention, what I call the primary attention, descending on the pool from level 6. The effect was to impress or characterize the moon plasma with will and the idea of the earth, so transforming the plasma into the fundamental substance of terrestrial existence, the elemental principling factor behind the appearance of life and sense. They have named this substance Vita. The whole of level 3 now consisted of elemental Vita, whose color is blue. Vita is the blue plane, the first of the 3 planes of level 3, and the stuff out of which the other 2 planes of existence were to be formed. Fundamentally beyond human comprehension, Vita is the power, purpose, and mystery behind existence, matter, and all the laws of science and physics. It contains all the force of unconscious matter, enabling it to explode, disintegrate, and destroy when given the right trigger. Vita is the undefinable essence of the sense-perceived world. The physical universe has no objective, external existence. There is no universe or world out there. What we see is a subjective experience, processed within mind, within the individual us. The external world is a product of the sense complex, lodged deep in the unconscious, in the elemental blue plane. This is not to suggest the universe is insubstantial. Relationship, as the power to affect and be affected by other things and forces, is the substance of the world. The yellow plane, what allows the world to be perceived at all, is the yellow plane. The yellow plane was created via a secondary focus of attention descending onto Vita from level 5. This formed the plane of pure intellect and intelligence, the ethereal or quintessential plane. The yellow plane is the means of intelligent reflection in the psyche. The yellow plane is intelligence without the self. The red plane, the feeling of self, is supplied by the red plane. The red plane is man's emotional or past self. The yellow plane is his intellect, while the blue plane supplies his sense of senses, which creates matter and the physical universe. Being the world of self, the red plane also is the world of attachments. Here originate man's exclusive feelings of individuality, arising from his emotional attachments to people, objects, concepts, and conditions. In most people and for most of their lives, one of the yellow plane powers of intellect is persistently invaded by the red plane emotion or self. This means that the part of man's being which should be pure, clear intellect or intelligence is constantly colored and confused by emotional considerations.